Good morning.
Good morning.
How are things with you?
I'm good. I'm just actually, so this is the first time I've interviewed this way,
Oh,
and
really?
I have to cover my face because I think that is so weird. So I'm just taking my phone to cover my face because I don't need to look at myself while I'm being interviewed.
No problem. It is a bit, this is a whole new world,
It's
right?
weird. It's so weird.
So, what was it like coming back for a new season? This show has made so many fans. It's so heartwarming. I mean, it's such a feel-good show in a lot of ways. What's it been like coming back to it?
Oh, it's so nice to hear you say that it's made a lot of new fans. I mean, we coming off of COVID, particularly like it's always great coming back to the show because it's wonderful being in St. John's. The cast and crew are just the loveliest. And I've been on the show long enough now that it feels like a family. So it's always great coming back to the show. And it's a fun show to do. But definitely coming back during COVID times, I had a baby and was pretty like we were quarantining pretty hardcore in Toronto, and that meant we didn't see anybody. I didn't leave the house basically, and so it was really a blessing to be able to come out here, for a bunch of reasons. It was a blessing to just come out here and be here, where we can leave our homes. It's a blessing to be working, and then it's a blessing to be in the company of other really wonderful people. To get to be on set and be surrounded by people, albeit socially distanced and still wearing masks, but still we get to be together, and that was really, really, really nice.
And it is amazing that so many shows have been able to just hit the stride and make this work because it is challenging. Like there's a lot of challenges to this.
Oh, absolutely. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that we came back when we did. I'm shocked that the industry is still going because I just assumed that it was a write-off for a year. Like I thought everything was going to shut down and it would take about a year because when you think about it, it doesn't um being on a set, it seems counterintuitive to all the things that you need to do during COVID times, right? Because you've got all these people crammed into a small space, sometimes a small space. But definitely, I don't know what other shows are doing. I'm kind of removed from that. But with our show, we've definitely taken a lot of precautions, and it's an adjustment for sure, as I'm sure it is for anybody who's getting back into the world and working and trying to resume a normal life. Um, but after you sort of get acquainted with the new way of doing things, it just becomes second nature, and you do it, and you don't even like now. I was saying to Ian, um, that I saw his face, and I'm like, oh, because I'm so used to people in masks now that I'm not. When I see someone's face, I'm like, oh, that's what you look like. And when I have my mask off, I often feel like something is missing because I'm so used to having it on. It feels like it's a part of me now, which is good and also kind of weird. Yeah.
Well, it must be especially tough as an actor to be wearing a mask because the whole half your emotion is gone.
For sure. When you rehearse, you're wearing the masks, and it's bizarre. And it's also, you half the time you can barely hear what other people are saying
Right.
in a scene. But again, it's like anything else. You just kind of you get used to it, and you find the ways around it, and you adjust. You make it work.
What was the new season like to film otherwise in terms of actual story and everything else?
Oh, I mean, it's again, just the context of coming back and being together. I feel like that um, has just sort of set a tone for the show this year, just because we're all so happy to be back together, and feel very grateful and lucky to be working, and so it's been fun. It's been fun, and weirdly, because it's a long season. It's about 6 to 7 months of shooting. Um, Weirdly, it's going by so fast. Like I don't know if it's COVID or just 2020. Something's happened this year where I don't know. I like the fact that we're in December is, but it's
Agreed.
right. It's nuts. Because we're almost done our season, and I feel like we got here in July, but that doesn't even feel like it was that long ago. We're almost done in our season. We have 3 more episodes left to shoot. No, it's been wonderful. The episodes have been a lot of fun. It's been a blessing, I think, for the show. One of our COVID measures is to get outside as much as possible, which has really worked for the show, because now we just see even more of St. John's, and we've had the reason to look for new locations, and so we're seeing lots more of St. John's and the surrounding area. It's been great. It's been great to shoot.
What's in store for Sarah this season that you can tease, maybe?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny. There's still 3 more episodes, and I'm not sure what happens just yet.
Right.
But I think it's always our friendship gets deeper and deeper. Charlie and Sarah, they get closer and closer as friends, and then we hope that other things happen, but we never know. I can't tell you.
We'll have to watch and see what happens, right?
Yeah. There's some really great episodes where the team come, every season I feel like we get closer and closer and more tight knit as a team. But there are some really great episodes this year where it's so I hate talking about episodes, because you never know what you can say and what you can't. But let's just say that the team really has to come together to get out of some tricky situations.
Well, I really like the first episode that you're kind of diving into the whole just backstory, I guess. And just that you two are at one point just walking and talking, and it just feels like such a natural little moment.
I know, it's so nice, right? It's nice to also, because both of those characters are always like head down in the work, right?
Exactly. That's what I thought too. Yeah.
It's so nice that like you get to see them kind of as friends outside of work, and also, him sort of going down this very deep personal story, and I get to, with Sarah, it feels like I'm being let in on this special thing, right? Because I'm newer to the group, but I'm definitely, we are constantly growing as friends. And this felt like an episode where we got to just cement a little bit more of that friendship. It is really a lovely episode. When I read it, I knew that it was going to be a good one.
I like that it kind of shows the older side of him as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
To the whole thing. I mean, so you don't get a lot of time to play with the dogs, I assume, or
Wait, sorry, did you say I do or I don't?
You don't really, do you?
No, I don't. I rarely get to see, yeah. And when I get to see Rex, it's usually in the bullpen, and he's not doing as much, right? Like he's,
right.
He's hanging out with us, but he's often in his corner just watching. And I'm never privy to the action stuff, right? Yeah, it's true. It's unfortunate.
It's kind of funny. You'll have to try and sneak on set someday to watch the action.
Well, actually, again, I can't say too much, but there are some episodes where some of us have to do some more detective work, more than we would usually do, let's say.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I guess the other thing is, for you, has there been a highlight of St. John's in particular that has stood out for you, that's like, I guess, the best part of being there?
I mean, outside of working on the show?
Yeah, I'm just curious, because you must have a distinct kind of view of the city that most people don't get, that you get to kind of move there for a bit of time, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Like, it's funny. I was just saying to someone else, my life is here now. Like, we're on a Christmas break and we're not going home. Part of that is COVID, but also part of it is that we're quite enjoying. Like, I have 2 kids. I have an 8-month-old and a 3-year-old. My 3-year-old is going to daycare for the first time. He has friends out here. Like, his life is out here. So I think for us, the real highlight is that we do get to have a legit life out here. It's not like we come out and work and then we're back home. Like, we're out here long enough that we've kind of settled down a bit. And it's I mean, there's so many gifts to this place. You know, I could say it's really stunning, and it's gorgeous. But I guess for me, the highlight is that being kind of this new expanding family, um, it's kind of the perfect place to be right now with my children, because it's slower. Our lives feel much more simple. There's less mental noise because, you know, when you're in a big city like Toronto, there's just always stuff. There's always stuff, and you're always busy, even when you're not. You know, and here, when you're not busy, and you often are outside of work, we're not busy. We get to we go for walks, and I read books. You know, I read books. I can't read when I'm home in the city. So yeah, it would be the pace. The pace for where I'm at in my life is I feel really lucky to get to be out here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, is there, the last thing I'm curious about, I guess, is there something you want to do in the show that you haven't had the chance to do yet?
Oh, that's a really good question that I haven't thought of. I mean, to be honest, I think kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, um, so much of what Sarah, so much of what we see of Sarah is her in work mode. And I really love to get to play, you know, I remember in oh boy, was it season 1 or season 2? Might have been season 1, I think, where I have a friend who I go and visit, and she's part of the storyline, and then we all get held hostage.
Right.
But I love the idea of getting to see just more of Sarah's outside of work life, whether it's through friends, whether it's hanging out with Charlie or any of the other team outside of work. Because it's just, you know, work is fun, but having a life is also fun. Is the problem is that, you know, Sarah doesn't really have a life. So I would like her to get out more, you know, just be a bit more social, maybe.
I'm sure it gives you a chance to play very different sides of her as well, obviously.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thank you so much for the time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Enjoy Newfoundland.
Thank you. I will. I am.